Everyone else may be seated at this time. Gentlemen of the jury, welcome back. First question is, did anyone have any contact outside of the courtroom with anything related to this case or discussions related to this case? Thank you. No hands, let the record reflect. My second question is, how many of you had a Cuban sandwich for lunch? Three Cuban sandwiches. Very good. All right. So the state is ready now. They've indicated to me to proceed. We're pretty close to on time. And I am going to, if there's any delays, don't hold it against any of the attorneys or the parties. I take full responsibility for all delays. But I'm going to ask them now to please call their next witness.
Teresa Wagner.
Teresa Wagner. Ms. Wagner, good afternoon and welcome. If you'll come forward to be sworn wherever you're comfortable, if you'll face me and raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. If you'll follow the bailiff to the ramp that leads up to the witness chair, please watch your step. It is an elevated ramp. When you get to that chair, go ahead, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. That microphone in front of you is fully adjustable. You may proceed, Ms. O'Connor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Wagner, can you please state your name, spelling your last name for the jury?
Teresa Wagner, W-A-G-N-E-R.
And Ms. Wagner, where are you currently employed?
I work for Geico.
And did you work for Geico back in March of 2017?
No.
And I'm sorry, June of 2017?
No.
Okay. Where did you work in June of 2017?
I was a crime scene investigator at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
How long were you a crime scene investigator for the Sheriff's Office?
I had been with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office since August of 2005, and prior to that I was with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, also as a crime scene investigator for 3 years.
When did you leave the Sheriff's Office?
September of 2019.
What type of education or training did you receive in order to become a crime scene investigator?
I already had, before I became a crime scene investigator, I already had a bachelor's degree. I also had an associate's degree in crime scene technology. And throughout my career at the Sheriff's Office, I also earned a master's degree in pharmacy with an emphasis in forensic science from the University of Florida.
Were you required to take any continuing education courses or anything like that in regards to being a crime scene investigator?
Nothing was required, but throughout my career I went to numerous training conferences, online learnings, and just other classes just to, improve my education. And I also did some training with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
As a crime scene investigator, what roles or duties did you have?
My responsibilities were to photograph, collect, and process evidence as it related to crimes, anything from property crimes up into serious persons crimes.
Is it fair to say that you would get called out to a scene or asked to process evidence at the sheriff's evidence section by a detective?
Yes.
Okay. Directing your attention to the case in which we're here for today, how did you become involved?
In June of 2017, Detective Steele asked me to process some items of evidence that had been collected by other crime scene investigators.
And what items of evidence was that?
A bed sheet and some clothing.
Can you please explain what process you did in order to analyze those items of evidence?
The items of evidence were looked at for biological evidence. So in this particular case, it was looking for semen and for blood evidence.
And what is it that you are doing in order to analyze the evidence for semen or blood?
Depending on the article that I was looking at, I examined it under white and alternate light. White light would be simple room lighting, like we would see here in the courtroom. Alternate light is, it's easiest explained as sometimes as black light. You'll see it under like a UV light, and sometimes material will glow under UV that it doesn't glow under regular white light. There's also different other wavelengths of light where you can look at materials to see if you can get that reflection of the other material other than just the item of clothing or bedding.
Are you only using the white light or that alternative light, or are you doing anything else after that?
After that, any suspected stains are then further tested with a presumptive test, which means it's not confirming it's that substance, but it just may be that substance. So depending on what I'm looking for, it would be a test for possible semen or a test for possible blood on any of those suspect stains.
Does the presumptive test appear different if it were positive presumptively for semen or for blood?
Yes, depending on the test, they create a color change. So you would take a sample of the suspected stain and use the test. And for example, the blood test turns a really bright hot pink in the possible presence of blood. The semen test turns like a deep purple color in the possible presence of semen.
Now, I want to direct your attention to the items that you were asked to analyze in this case. You said one of those was a sheet, is that right?
Yes.
And did you look at the sheet under the lights that you've already testified to?
Yes.
And ultimately were able to see a stain?
Yes.
What did you do then?
The stains were all circled and then labeled individually and tested with the acid phosphatase test, which is the presumptive test for semen, and positive results were found.
What did you do once seeing those positive results after doing the acid phosphatase test?
I took samples from the sheet, actual cutting from the stain itself, and then those were later submitted into the evidence section at the sheriff's office.
Moving on to the item being a t-shirt. Same process, looking at it under a light and then performing an additional test on that?
The t-shirt, because the possible blood was visible on the shirt, I didn't need to look at it under the alternate light, just regular room lighting, and then tested a sample of the possible blood that was on the shirt.
Now, with the sheet, you just said that you took a cutting of where it presumptively was positive. With the t-shirt, would you have taken a cutting of that area as well, or do something different?
No, I would also have taken a cutting of that.
Okay. The pink pants that you analyzed, do you recall what you were looking for on those?
That was also being examined for the possible presence of semen.
And were you able to have a presumptive positive on that, item of evidence?
Yes.
And was it presumptively positive for semen?
Yes.
Did you collect a cutting of those pants?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to white panties. What was it that you were looking for with that item?
Also looking at it for the possible presence of semen.
Okay, and when you were analyzing the white panties for semen, were you able to identify the possibility of there being any semen?
No.
Okay. So if in that situation where you don't either see it under the alternative light or using the acid phosphatase test, do you move on with that item of evidence?
Right. That item of evidence would be done being examined at that point in time and just be repackaged to turn back in.
Okay. The purple panties, what were you looking for with those?
Those were also being examined for the possible presence of semen.
And were you able to identify it?
Yes.
And with the panties, did you then also collect a cutting?
Yes.
Then lastly, you analyzed beige panties. What were you looking for with those?
The possible presence of semen.
Were you able to identify any?
No.
Okay, so same with the white panties, you move on, don't collect anything further in regards to that evidence.
Correct.
Okay. Now, when you say that you take a cutting and then package it, can you please explain how you do that?
Use a sterile scalpel. A single scalpel is used for that cutting. It's not reused on any other evidence. A sterile scalpel, and then the actual cutting itself is folded up into a piece of white paper that's placed inside a white envelope. Everything is marked, and then it goes inside one of the beige evidence envelopes.
And after you collect that, do you place it into another envelope and place it into evidence?
Yes, the white envelope goes inside a beige evidence envelope, and that's turned in.
Okay. May I approach the witness?
You may.
Ms. Wagner, I'm showing you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit L. Have you had an opportunity to review this prior to today?
Yes.
And do you recognize that?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
It has a label on it that has my name and the evidence item number, and then the back of the envelope has the evidence label or the evidence tape that goes across the seal, and then it's got my initials, my ID number at the sheriff's office, and the date that I sealed it.
And is that a fair and accurate or substantially same condition as when you took the cutting and placed it in the envelope sealing it?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time the state would move into evidence State's Exhibit L.
Any objection?
No objection.
State's L will be admitted.
May I publish?
You may publish it to the jury.
Now, looking at the white envelope that was inside the manila envelope, Ms. Wagner, there are what appears to be two different handwritings on this envelope. Do you identify, or can you identify which is your handwriting?
Yes, the handwriting in the center envelope is mine, noting that this is cutting from the fitted sheet at marker A. So each of the stains that I found that returned a positive result were marked A through F. And then that's the item number below it. So the actual fitted sheet evidence item number, that's its designated number. And then AP positive below that, that just stands for acid phosphatase positive.
Okay. And when we open up the envelope, inside is another little piece of paper. Can you describe what this is?
Yes, so that's the white piece of paper that I mentioned previously. And again, my handwriting on it showing that that's where that cutting actually came from. And inside would be the cutting itself.
And so, as you just said, within this piece of paper would be the cutting of the sheet that you took?
Yes, so that large piece, that's my cutting, knowing that there's handwriting on there from where it possibly went to analysis at the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. There's a square cut out of the middle of it. That may be where they took their sample from. But my entire piece is that blue and white piece you see there.
And there's a part of it that is a little yellowish. Is that the stain that you were able to see once the acid phosphatase test showed a presumptive positive?
It's possible, yes.
Okay. Now, once you collect the cuttings and put them into evidence, do you have any involvement with the items being sent to FDLE for further analysis or anything further yourself?
No.
State will pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
If I understand what you're doing, you go to the scene, you do what they tell you to do, you do the cuttings of the sheets, and you test it to see if it's positive for semen.
In this particular case, I did not respond to the scene. I just processed this evidence at the crime scene section.
Okay, so except you didn't go to the scene, but you did
Correct.
process it.
Yes.
And you processed and you came up with a presumptive positive for semen.
Correct.
But you cannot tell us who that semen belongs.
No.
No further questions.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
May this witness be released by the state
Yes.
and by the
Yes.
defense? You may
Yes.
step down. You may be released as a witness at this time.
Thanks, Your Honor.
You're welcome. I'll ask the state to please call your next witness.
State calls Deputy Forrest.
Deputy
Forrest.
Forrest.